Recording in progress.
So can we go ahead, everybody? Yes. So we are still doing what? E-invoicing. We have almost everything is done. Little bit of basics. Still little bit things are remaining that will cover. Okay. Ready? Chalo. Okay. Check now. The overall workflow of invoice generation. Chalega for your understanding. And receipt of confirmation is depicted in the following diagrams. Check. Seller IRP. Seller and IRP. Seller to have JSON prep utility. Prep means preparation. Okay. From Excel, Word, or any ERP, accounting software, mobile app, etc. Basically, what he's going to enter details in his own system, and from that he is going to prepare an IRP ready file. Are you getting my point? Basically, an input file for IRP. Understood, Leo? अरे बोलो हाँ. All of you. Then, is it okay or no? For this, just for the sake of example, he is using बच्चों tally. You made a sales entry in tally. Are you there, बच्चों? I can't see your comments. Comment quickly.
Recording stopped.
Yeah.
Recording stopped.
Are?
Recording in progress.
So let us say you did a sales entry in tally. Now from that software only, a file will be created, JSON file. Okay, JSON. Just now we discussed like XML, XBRL. You have JSON files also, which will be which will have details of important details required of the invoice. In that JSON utility, JSON file. That JSON file will be uploaded on the IRP. Understood? So check. The seller prepares e-invoice. Okay. As per schema. Schema means again the language, your software. Having mandatorily what? GST, IN, invoice number, date value, etc. and optional fields. Yes, Shailya? Upload the JSON file on the IRP. Now whose work starts? IRP bachcho work starts. So import bachcho. JSON file is pushed to IRP, means push means obviously imported by the IRP. Okay. IRP to have facility to accept JSON file through APIs. Again, your this software only, or accept a direct upload. That means, let us say, just now we saw in that software of Zoho, that facility. Your APIs are your apps only or your softwares. From that directly, bachcho, it can be imported in the IRP. Otherwise, you create the JSON file and upload the JSON file. Okay. So basically, what they're trying to say, from directly from Tally to IRP also you can do it, or from Tally export the JSON file and then upload the JSON file. Same thing. Okay. Fine. What will IRP will do? IRP will generate the IRN. Correct, Leo? Does deduplication check with GST system, time pass, all of this. Signs JSON with digital signature and also adds QR. Three things it does. Creates IRN number, signs it, and also creates a QR code. Clear? Then returns digitally signed JSON to the seller with QR code included in the same. Okay, digitally signed JSON files. Okay. And sends authenticated payload to the GST system as well as e-bill system. Did you understand or no? To the seller, why? Obviously, but then again, seller can print it and give it to the buyer, those digitally signed invoices, and again to those two systems, which are GST Common Portal and e-bill. Then the seller bachcho receives the digitally signed JSON of e-invoice that contains QR code. Okay, so he again exports it and prints it out. Okay, and seller's bachcho GSTR1 gets updated with the liability entered in the whatever is the information entered in the invoice. Simple, clear. Now GST system and your buyers. But your buyers ki what? For ITC, okay? So nothing great over here. GSTR1 of seller updated. GSTR2 is bachcho for inwards right now. Just keep that in mind. Inward of buyer updated. Okay? Fine. Other points. The e-invoicing system is also available for e-commerce operators. We have done bachcho e-commerce operators. Tell me, eco. Where had we done bachcho? In income tax also we had seen. TDS. Tell me. Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, everything. Correct. है ना? Make my trip, yatra.com, all of that. To report the invoices to IRP portal, है ना? Invoice portal, generated by them on behalf of the suppliers. On behalf of the suppliers. Okay? Here Amazon is supposed to do lots of work. I mean, Amazon is an example, but you should do lots of work for the suppliers. Okay? So they have also option of what? Reporting of invoices on behalf of the suppliers. Bulk uploading is also available. That means you need not upload one. You can upload many of them. Okay? Not our headache. QR code, chalo. Upon successful registration of invoice on IRP, it will return. These three things will happen. IRN bachcho is embedded in the QR code. Okay? Which shall be extracted and printed on the invoice. The QR code enables quick view, validation, and access of the invoice details. है ना? Pay attention now. From the GST system, that means directly but you can confirm from the GST software, GST common portal, GST system, from handheld devices, mobile. So anybody can, but is there a lag? Anybody can but quickly check the details of the invoice just by scanning the QR code. है कि नहीं? The digitally signed QR code will have a unique IRN which can be verified on the central portal. Pay attention, as well as by an offline app by the officer. Now officer is coming into picture. That means if the goods are moving, the transporter needs to have an invoice, na? That copy is going to have QR code also. So the officer anytime can just quickly check the QR code and check whether the goods which are moving in the truck are matching with the details given in the invoice or not. This will be helpful for the tax officer checking the invoice offline on the roadside where internet may not be available all the time. Hi, you might have gone to places or locations where there is no tower only as such, mobile tower network. Or if BSNL is there, then others are not there. Others are there, BSNL is not there. Something like that. So in such cases, okay, the officer will be able to check details through QR code. Okay, everybody? Even at offline places. Okay? The QR code consists of what things? Check. Supplier recipient details, GSTIN, invoice number, date of generation of invoice, invoice value, number of line items, how many items are being sold, that is line items. HSN code of the main item, the line item having the highest taxable value. Unique IRN, that is hash, that entire digits, and the date of generation of IRN. This details you can check. Now once you have the HSN at least, you will be able to understand what item was it. Done? Okay. Chalo. Dynamic QR code. Next one. On B2C invoices also. Okay? E-invoicing is compulsory for which? How much turnover in the previous financial year? 50 crores. Hi Anna. 50 crores. Clear to all of you? But all B2C invoices issued by a registered person whose aggregate turnover exceeds 500 crores will have a QR code. Basically on everything now. So those who have turnover more than 500 crores, they have to do B2B as well as B2C. Hi Anna, everybody. Check here. $50 crore above. B2B is there, na? And 500 crore above. B2C also. Yes, still here all of you. Yeah? Can you go ahead, everybody? Chalo. Sixth provision to Rule 46 has empowered the government to specify that tax invoice shall have a QR code. Okay? Result has been notified that invoice issued by a registered person whose aggregate turnover बच्चों is more than 500 crores in respect of B2C, है ना, correct लिया, shall have a dynamic QR code. A dynamic QR code is made available to the buyer by such registered person through digital display with payment cross reference shall be deemed to be having QR code. The purpose of this provision is to enable and encourage digital payments where buyer can scan the dynamic QR code and make payment from mobile wallet directly. If on the invoice bacho there is a QR code printed, what do? We scan or no? Hi Anna. We take the scanners from that person, na? From wherever you're buying a tea or chocolate or whatever, from the grocery store also. But whenever we're talking about business to consumers, okay, everybody, having turnover of how many? More than 500 crores. They have to also show bacho their QR code, always display it, so that the buyer can immediately make a payment. It means what? In some restaurants you might have gone. Yeah, let us say in petrol pump which also this happens. He enters, I don't know this we have used or not. He enters the amount on the QR code bacho. Okay, that whatever that QR device he has, na, that device, payment system. When you scan it, if at all you have seen, immediately even the amount is automatically filled. There are two things, na. When you go to a grocery shop, yeah, amount is auto-filled, correct, exactly. You go to a grocery shop, normal grocery shop, you scan it, you enter the amount by yourself. And some cases, the other person has already put the figure. For example, restaurant, petrol pumps, I have seen that. है ना? Clearly, some similar, na? It is much exactly similar we are discussing here, okay? Through digital display. Acha, okay. So there is no basically issues over here, any problem over here. So that exact amount is paid, है ना? No fraud can happen over there, है ना? Today, many shops have static QR code, not dynamic. Static means what? You have to make the entry at the payment counter, which is scanned by the buyer, but the buyer has to enter the amount to be paid to the shop in the mobile payment app. The dynamic QR code, on the other hand, but you will have the payment details. है ना? And thus scan and pay in one go is possible. This has no relevance or applicability to the e-invoicing in respect of B2B supplies by notified class officer generated by the dynamic QR code will be generated by the seller himself either on point of sale machine, that handheld device that is point of sale machine, where you can swipe that card also or show that QR code also, है ना? Or check करो, seller himself either on the POS machine or the invoice issued. On the invoice also you can enter a dynamic QR code. Okay. Important. Where dynamic QR code is not required. See, it was required in B2C. This much you remember. More than 500 crores. Hi Anna. Display. Clearly? These are exceptions, but okay. Exceptions. Not required, na? Check. Insurer, banking, FI, including NBFC. So bank as well as insurance to customers. GTA, supplying services of transport, passenger transport, multiplex, movies, and supply of OIDAR. Okay, they need not, but you cannot or should not, don't have to, but you show make payment through QR codes. Okay, need not generate dynamic QR code. No dynamic QR code for exports. As regards supplies made for exports, those such supplies are made by a registered person to an unregistered because he is a foreigner. No? That foreigner is not registered under GST. E-invoice is required or not required? On imports it was not required. On exports, yes. Are required to be issued in respect of supplies for exports, treating them as B2B. So dynamic QR code will not be applicable to them. Okay. Check here. What will be there in dynamic QR code? supplier GSTN, supplier UPI ID, payees, recipient, supplier's bank account and IFSC, invoice number and invoice date, total invoice value, and GST amount breakup. Okay. This case we'll do later on. Okay. This will keep pending. It is all time pass. चलेगा? Okay. This will be pending बच्चों. चलो. Come to this special cases. Let us do something proper, important. Revised tax invoice. Important. Section 31 3A. Ready? When issued. Pay attention now. Very important now. This we have already discussed a little bit. Pay attention बच्चों. Turnover crossed, let us say 20 lakhs on 16th September 23. Okay. Turnover for the first time of that supplier. He has to apply for registration. Yes or no? Now let's take it as goods and services. Or services. Give a section number. Under which section he has to register? Section number. All of you? No. 22. Section 22 is for turnover. 23 is for exempt. 24 is for other than turnover. So section 22. Okay, but yes, within 30 days. This much you agree? Within 30 days. Okay. Let us say बच्चों applied on 15th October 23. Any problem earlier? No. Application. Okay. And within 7 days, etc. You might have known that. But let us say I'm taking 22nd 10 23 as GSTIN received. Is it okay, everybody? So as per again that section 20, that chapter of registration, है ना? The GSTN is effective from which date? Correct. Has he done or not done any supply after 17th September until 21st October? Has he done or he has stopped his business? He has done, but obviously business. He is supplying on daily basis. Now understand. During this period, was he liable to collect tax? He was liable. He was but liable because his turnover has exceeded. Could he collect tax? Was it possible for him to collect tax? No, because he did not have GSTIN. So he did a supply, and like normal cases, whatever he was doing till now, he has issued bachcho normal invoices, regular invoices. Yes or no? Everybody. Done till here? So when he got the registration number bachcho on 22nd October, no loss, no. He will, what am I doing? For this period, okay? For this period, issue revised tax invoices. Understood earlier? Did he bachcho make a supply in Did he make, let us say, a taxable supply in September? He has done a supply. Could he collect taxes? No. Now, bachcho, if there is a outward supply, outward taxable supply, and importantly, I am saying that GSTIN is effective from 16th September now. So in September, even if for 14 days, whatever, he has done a taxable outward supply. That means for September also he should file GST returns. Agreed? As well as October also he should file GST returns. But he got also the registration number a little bit late. Okay, whatever. Hi, Anna Bacho. Clearly, all of you. He is received in October. So all the compliances he can do only after receiving the GST IN. है ना बच्चों? So once this GST IN is received, then he can issue the revised tax invoices. Check बच्चों within the next 30 days. Ready? So why, first of all, every registered person who has been granted registration with effect from a date earlier than the date of issuance, with effect from which backdated, no? Correct, no? He may issue reverse tax invoices. Such invoices shall be issued against the invoices already issued during the said period. Because buyer is going to get credit if it was B2B. So buyer says, okay, nice, good. You were URD first. Now you are RD. Now I can also claim ITC. And buyer obviously will be happy, no? If it was B2C, that is a problem. Then you should have collected, or you can say issued some kind of separate note, debit note, something extra of that item. है ना? Done, all of you? Revised tax invoices shall be issued within 1 month from the date of issuance of registration certificate. है ना? So बच्चों, you got on, let us say 22nd 10, है ना? So 22nd 11, let us say 23. Up to this date, he shall issue. Then to we cannot do anything. If insolvent and all, to we can't recover. Na? Supplier will have to pay out of his own pocket. And then claim again refund and all. If because payment is not done against the invoice. That is there. At the time being, supplier has to do. And after 6 months, there is a provision. If payment is not received, it is a bad debt, then you can reverse the taxes paid or claim it as a refund. Okay? Ready, everybody? The word revised invoice shall be indicated on such invoices. This we have already covered. Thus, there would be time lag between date of grant of certificate and the date of effective date of registration. Check. The law enables issuance of revised invoice. Why? So that the recipient can claim ITC. Na? Yes, Celia. Check example. Ready, bacho? Saraway Private Limited commenced business of supply goods on 1st April. Commenced business. Turnover exceeded threshold limit on 3rd September. It became liable on 3rd September. It applied on 29th September, bacho, within 30 days, yes. And was granted on 5th October. But this 5th October is, bacho, applicable from 3rd October. So whatever supply is done from 3rd October to 5th October, bacho, for that period, for that, he has to issue revised tax invoices till 5th November. कुछ समझा कि नहीं? He got certificate on 5th October. So after that, within 30 days, 5th November, he has to issue revised invoices for the period between 3rd September to 5th October. Kushbu, okay? Akshay? There or no? करते क्या नहीं? Clearly, all of you? Good. Can you go ahead, everybody? Since it applied for registration within 30 days, that's this I have already discussed now. Answer to already understood. Conso. Question is asked on this. Consolidated revised tax invoices. Achha. In certain cases, not 2 sir is okay. In certain cases, a registered person may issue a consolidated revised tax invoice in respect of all taxable supplies made to an URD during such period. Does it make any asset difference for to URD? Everybody, URD is not going to claim any kind of what, bacho? ITC, है ना? To check. A has done total 4 supplies. Yes, Chelia. And for all of that, bacho, you can issue conso revised invoice. Clearly, single, है ना? However, in case of interstate supplies, a consolidated revised tax invoice cannot be issued in respect of all URD, है ना? In respect of all URD recipients, if value of a supply exceeds 2,50,000. Important. Recipient is registered or unregistered, RD or URD recipient. Recipient is URD making a purchase of more than 2,50,000. हाँ या ना? In that case, बच्चों, we can't give a consolidated invoice. We have to give separate revised invoices. Okay? Why? Because we want to see here actually now who is this URD who is buying so much interest rate. Okay? So we'll not be giving बच्चों consolidated revised invoices for interest rate if the amount is more than 2,50,000. If the value of a supply, है ना? Not clear? Now, details of reverse tax invoice. What should be there? Name, address, GST of the supplier, no problem. Invoice number, date of issue of the document, GST and UN of, if registered, and if unregistered, bachcho, address. Look at this point. This is only a little bit different or unique. Serial number and date of corresponding original tax invoice, है ना? Or as the case may be, bill of supply, the first one, है ना? Signature. Ready? Love and Kush Private Limited of Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram. Correct, na? That was MMNT was what, bachcho? NT. Nagaland, Tripura, Manipur. Correct, na? Manipur, Mizoram, na? Correct. Correct. Engage supply of gift items. They are not gifting anybody. They are supplying bachcho gift items. Yeah, 20 lakhs, correct. And repair service, both. So goods and services, 20 lakhs, है ना? Provides the following details. Commencement of business 1st August. Turnover purpose is given. Turnover exceeds 10 lakhs. 15th August. Turnover exceeds 20 lakhs. 5th September. What business they are doing, na? Kadak. Application for registration 28th September. Now I hope you're understanding, bachcho, what kind of or which kind of question they prepare now. All mix and match. And registration bachcho granted on 6th October. Now the important thing is whether they are liable on 15th August or they were liable from 5th September, bachcho. That depends on your section again 22. है ना? Understood, everybody? So that you have to keep in mind. Because if you take 5th September, it is within 30 days. If you take 15th August, then bachcho, it is after 30 days. Okay? So they were liable from 5th October. Within 30 days they have applied. 20th September. Hi, Anna. Sorry. Now once they have applied, they got also on 6th October. Now this registration was effective from 5th September. Yes, tell you. So all the supply done from 5th September to 6th October. For that, they will have to issue revised tax invoices, but by 6th November. है ना? Or maybe 5th because October has 31 days. है ना? Understood, everybody? As to how it should raise revised tax invoices. Is there any specific provision for revised tax invoices to unregistered customers? We can do consolidated. All these applies to a unregistered person during that period. For issuing revised tax invoices, we can do consolidation, but if it is interest rate, we can't do if the supply is more than 2.5 lakhs to that unregistered recipient. Okay? So answer is what, bachcho, for this 20 lakhs. Effective from the date of registration is the date of when the person becomes liable to register. From that date is effective. Done till here? Same story. And console tax reverse invoices for unregistered dealers, recipients, but interstate, and the value of checks is 2.5 lakhs, then separate, no console. Okay till here? No tax invoice required to be issued if the value is much less than 200. A console can be 3-star. Important, no? Overall now. Are we talking of revised tax invoice now? That story is done. We are coming into another concept, okay? No tax invoice required. If the value itself is much less than 200. Okay, everybody? Huh. Or for that, a console is a console tax invoice can be issued. A registered person may not issue tax invoice if value of goods or services both is less than 200. If it is, the recipient is unregistered. Hi Anna. He is not going to get credit only na bachcho. Who? The recipient. And also, recipient does not require invoice. All three conditions should be satisfied. Important. All three bachcho conditions should be satisfied. Then he is not required to issue tax invoice. Clear till here? As it is bachcho, the recipient is not going to get credit. Hi Anna. And if recipient is also not forcing or insisting on having an invoice, then he need not. But if the value is of 20 rupees, 20, not 200, 20 rupees, and the recipient customer says, I want invoice, then you will have to issue invoice, even if it is a tax invoice. Understood or no, everybody? Hi Anna. What if the amount is 300 and B2C? Amount is 300 B2C. Required or not required? Required. Clear till here, all of you? Akshay, okay? There are just so many items, है ना? On which, especially let us say food items, on which bachcho daily basis, hourly basis, lots of supplies happening, like vada pav, snack center, tea stall, McD, है ना, burger, whatever. There are lots of bachcho, or any restaurant also na, making a lots of supply during the day, है ना. There can be at least minimum, I think 200 or 300 bills minimum in a day. Agreed? And all of them are for B2C. है ना, B2C. This is okay, business to customers, consumers. Correct, Elia? But if the dealer is, again, like I said, dealer is bachcho what? Registered. Alright, Elia? And all the amount, no, vada pav, this and that, bachcho what? Maybe less than 200 only, na, per bill I'm talking about. Yes, Elia? And recipient also doesn't want the invoice as such, tax invoice. Then he will not give invoices to those people. Instead, but is he liable to pay tax? Yes, he's liable to pay tax, bachcho, on the sale. So, bachcho, instead of making separate transactions, he can put all of them together as a consolidated entry. Okay, that sales. Now you imagine, bachcho, just for the sake of example, in billing software and accounting software, what will be the difference? Billing software, you might have seen, there is a machine. In some restaurants, you might have seen a bill is then, what you can say, torn off and given. This have you seen or no, bachcho? Hi, Anna. Are you getting my point, everybody? Okay. So if at all I tell you there are 300 bills in a day, in minimum, let us say on an average 300 bills in a day, है ना, small. They are not going to do 300 accounting entries. With 300 into 365, there will be lots of huge number of entry. Okay, 300 into 365 if I take. Again, I'm saying in average, normal I'm talking about. What you'll do is you'll make 365 entries. That is okay. Are you getting my point or no? Sales for the day. Put a single entry. Understood? Everybody okay till here? Chalo, let's go back to this tax invoice. Instead, such registered person बच्चों shall issue a console tax invoice for such supplies at the close of each day in respect of all such supplies. He can't do बच्चों, impossible. You try to imagine his GST returns. He will die for small transaction. बच्चों, if we'll have to fill the details. Understood? You might have seen so many times बच्चों ना that stationery shops. You buy a pen or two pen or a notebook or something or a sketch pen, whatever it is, marker. What items? How many? Or some folder. How much you spend? 20 rupees, 50 rupees maximum. है ना? There was and like Xerox, this and that. There are so many small mini value transactions that are happening in good quantity. So for everything, but you can't keep on issuing tax invoices. Okay, especially if it is B2C. The small taxpayers like small retailers doing a large number of small transactions. Stationery बच्चों is a classic example. Stationery shop है ना? 2 rupees, 6 rupees, 2 rupees, 10 rupees Xerox. है ना? A large number of small transactions of up to value of 200 to unregistered need not issue invoice on every such transaction. They can बच्चों make one console invoice at the end of the day. Okay. However, they need to issue invoice if the customer demands. This option is not available to supplier, making which supplies movie screening. Not available. They have to issue invoice even if it is less than rupees 200. But invoice will not be as per invoice of section 31 in that format. Okay. The movie ticket is बच्चों ticket come invoice. Okay. Finally, no? I hope you know when you buy a ticket, बच्चों, you are paying taxes on that. And that also on movies, but I think it is depending on the movie ticket rate. Up to 250 and about 250, I think. Let me just check.
Recording stopped.
My goodness.
Recording in progress.
Above rupees 100. How much much movie tickets? This GST 18%. And the movie ticket is less than 100 rupees, then 12%. Okay, everybody? So you are obviously paying taxes, okay? When you buy a movie ticket. Done? Come to the example, illustration 2. Don't look at the answer. Don't. Okay? Just look at the question. Jan & Sons is a trader dealing in stationery items. He is registered under GST as undertaking following sales during the day, for the day. Okay, all of you? Raghav Traders, a registered dealer, less than 190. Sorry, less than 200. Invoice required or not required? Bolo. Required. Why? Required. B2B it is, बच्चों. B2B. Akshay okay? Kushbu okay? Dhruv Enterprises unregistered, but more than 358. It is B2C. But बच्चों since more than 200. समझा? Invoice more than 200. Clear? Good. Gaurav a painter, B2C, but same logic since more than 200. Invoice required. Clear till here? Oberoi orphanage, an unregistered entity, we'll call it as B2C, and less than 200 not required. We will have to assume that Oberoi has not asked for invoice. Aradhya student unregistered 158 not required. Nitin, okay? Any doubt? Ask me. Any transaction you can ask me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whichever you have doubt. Akshay, okay? Good. None of the recipients require tax invoice. They have given in the question itself. Determine bachcho in which cases may issue a conso instead of tax invoice at the end of each day. Last two, Oberoi and Aradhya. He has charged a tax but did not give a separate tax invoice. Because he's a registered dealer, bachcho, every supply he is taxing only. He has to apply, he has to charge tax, no doubt about it. Okay? Done, everybody? 188 and 158. For this two, he can do a conso. Next one. Bill of supply. Ready? Star mark. One single star mark is okay. But at the other earlier one, which we have discussed just now, that is important. Okay. Whatever services may be given, you can give service to anybody, na. Or orphanage took the Xerox or stationery from you, you have to charge. Orphanage, whatever services they are giving, that is exempt. But now, let us say orphanage, let us say buys petrol or diesels for his own vehicles. They are paying taxes now as a customer. You know? As a customer, they are paying taxes. Bill of supply. 31(3)(c). Bill of supply is bachcho, not a tax invoice. Okay, not a tax invoice. So whenever you are moving the goods, understand, whenever you are moving the goods without a tax invoice, a bill of supply is needed, is required. Did we do any example today where you are moving the goods but supply is not done? Goods have been moved but supply is not done. Approval basis. Sale on approval or return basis. हाँ या ना? Isn't it? Can he generate bachcho tax invoice? No. Why? Because supply is not yet finished or done. Are you getting my point? But are the goods moving? Yes. So in that case, bachcho, the goods moves along with the bill of supply and not a tax invoice. Understood all of you? समझा कि नहीं? All of you tell me. Good. And bill of supply, bachchos, again, you can say there is a supply, but not taxable supply. Okay, at that moment, it is not a taxable supply. So in that case, we are not allowed to issue tax invoice. Okay, we can issue bachcho only what? Bill of supply. Check karo. 31(3)(c) states that a registered person supplying exempted goods, registered, but now, let us say there is Mr. A. Pay attention, okay? We have done this example. Petrol and oil. This is 40 lakhs. He has made supply, and this is 20 lakhs. Okay? Liable or not liable for registration? Liable, because aggregate bachcho is more than 20 lakhs. When I say aggregate, means aggregate of exempt as well as taxable. But now, whenever he will now supply oil bachcho, for that he will have to issue tax invoice. And whenever bachcho, further whenever he will supply petrol, example, no, he'll have to supply bachcho, he'll have to issue bill of supply. Why? Because as soon as बच्चों I write the word tax invoice, it means you are collecting tax on the same, and you are not collecting बच्चों tax on petrol. Understood or no? Not a GST item, ना. Understood everybody? बोलो. Sorry. We'll do some question answer after this concept. So registered person बच्चों supplying exempted goods or services both, or a registered person paying tax under composition scheme. Composition scheme बच्चों, like I said, बच्चों, it is like your which one? Present to taxation. So he cannot charge output tax. Okay. They'll have to issue बच्चों bill of supply instead of tax invoice. Clear? And if he's a बच्चों composition dealer, that we will understand later on. Okay. He'll have to बच्चों mention compulsorily. Composition taxable person not eligible to collect tax on supplies on the top of the bill issued by him. Okay. Composition dealer, again I'm repeating, we have to cover that later on. Okay. What all will be there बच्चों on bill of supply? Almost everything same except tax details, है ना? Means बच्चों call it as value and not taxable value. Okay, we just call it as बच्चों value of supply and not is called as taxable value because it is not taxed. Na? We are not taxing it. Okay. Check. Where a registered person supplying taxable as well as exempted goods, or both to an unregistered person, B2C, a single invoice cum bill of supply may be issued for all such supplies. Okay, maybe. Again, it is our option. Let's do some Q&A. This theory is up to which page? Just check from where that summary starts. E-way bill, I think. Yeah. Then 72 assets we have to learn. Okay. After that, but you have only what this summary notes and Q&A. Ready? MBM caretakers. A registered person provides the services of repair and maintenance of electrical appliances. On 1st April, it has entered into a AMC, annual maintenance contract with P for its AC and washing machine. Okay. As per terms of contract, maintenance services will be provided on first day of each quarter, and payment for the same will also be due on the date on which service is given. Okay. Is this bachcho entire year contract? Yes. During the year, it has provided the service on 1st April, 1st July, 1st October, and 1st January as per the contract. When should MBM bachcho issue invoice for services rendered? First of all बच्चों, supply of goods or supply of services, answer quickly. Supply of goods or supply of services? Supply of services. Is this बच्चों one single supplier or continuous supply of services? Continuous supply of services since the contract is for more than 3 months. Now, when do we have to issue the invoice? For that, what you have to check in the contract? What do you have to check in the contract? Important. To check the due date for invoice, what do you have to first check in the contract? How do we determine the date of issue of invoice for continuous supply services? Go back in that first couple of pages or check section 31. What date do we see in the contract? Due date of payment or date of supply of service? I want the law because in this question it is both are same. Payment. Very good, Mansi. Continuous supply of service. Okay, which page it is? 9th. Look at the first word what you'll see in the contract. Is the due date of payment ascertainable? If answer is yes, now if the answer is yes, then the due date of payment. On or before the due date of payment, you have to issue the invoice. If the due date is not ascertainable, then whenever he has received the payment. Yes? On or before receipt of the payment. Done with all of you? So first thing, always understand, very important. You can write down there in the textbook also there. I mean at that page. For continuous supply of services, the first thing what you're going to see is the can you ascertain, that means find due date of payment. Okay. Fidelia, check due date of payment first. समझा ना everybody? Okay, all of you? If that is ascertainable, then on or before that date, you have to issue the invoice. Chalega? Now check. What was the due date given in the contract? The payment for the same will also be the due date on the date of which service is rendered. Now here, yes, we can find out the due date. It is the date of supply of service. So same dates, but on or before that date, we have to issue the invoices. Yes. Third one. The aggregate turnover of Sangri Services Limited services exceeded 20 lakhs on 12th August. Applied for this in 3rd September. August, September. Within 30 days, yes. And was granted certificate on 6th September. Which now 6th September is effective from 12th August. You are required to advise as to what is the effective date of registration. It is also sought advice regarding period of issuance of revised tax invoices from 6th September within 30 days. Let us see, you can take it 6th what? October. Hi na. Any doubt? All okay बच्चों? Both of the things you can answer, है ना? composition, just for the sake of question, Sham Fabrics has opted for a composition scheme in the current year. It has approached you to advise whether it is mandatory for it to issue tax invoice. What do you think, बच्चों? Can composition dealer बच्चों issue tax invoice? Impossible. In fact, he has to clearly mention composition dealer not eligible to collect tax. He can बच्चों only give which document? Bill of supply. Clear? Okay, हो गया आज. Fifth one. Ready? Royal Fashions, a registered supplier of designer outfits in Delhi, decides to exhibit its products in a fashion show on 4th January. On this occasion, it gets the service by way of makeover of its models from Aura Beauty Services Limited. Ashok VR, for which a concern of 5 lakhs has been charged. My goodness. Aura Beauty Services issued a duly signed tax invoice on 10th February. Wrong? No, not wrong, right? For service बच्चों on the date of supply or within 30 days of provision of service. Tell me. Visible, no? All everything okay? Tell me.
Recording in progress.
We were here. So services program was on 4th January, na? So as per your section again 31 for issue of invoice, it needs to be issued on or before or maximum within 30 days of supply. The invoice bachcho was given on 10th February. Service was given on 4th Jan after 30 days. Problem. Showing the lump sum amount of 5 lakh 90. Lump sum amount of 5 lakh 90. Inclusive of taxes at 9%. CGST, SGST 18%. Each for the services provided. Answer the following questions. Examine whether tax invoice has been issued within time limit. No. Tax consultant of Royal Fashions objected to the invoice raised, suggesting that amount of tax charge in respect of taxable supply should be shown separately. Amount of tax charge should be shown separately in the invoice. However, Aura said there is no mandatory requirement of showing tax component separately. What do you think, bachcho? Can we put one single amount as gross amount or we have to break up the amount? Is it compulsory to show tax amount separately? For that again, bachcho, section 31, read with your rule for the formats. We have to compulsory bachcho show item separate, rate separate, taxable value separately. Everything bachcho separately have to mention. Okay. So there is a mistake from the buyer's side. Buyer means recipients. Sorry, the supplier side. The invoices were not issued properly. है ना? If you don't remember the rules, just write section 31, read with CGST rules. Okay. Mandatory, you have to just write the list of all the things important for your contents of the invoice. The objection raised बच्चों is valid. That amount of tax should be shown separately. All right. Tell me, बच्चों, what is it the case of these days? Have we covered this? Before that, let us tell me about ninth. A registered person has to mandatory look at. They have asked question on this also. Just now we did. A registered person has to mandatorily issue separate invoices for taxable and exempt goods when supplying both of them together to unregistered person. No, he can issue both bill of supply come invoice. That name was given, na bachcho. The question is about mandatory issue separate invoices. So in such cases, he can mix bachcho both the invoices together. Which one? Invoice come bill of supply. Just now we did the last part we had done. Yes, it was a composite supply. We'll do both all of them together. So what is the answer for ninth? You can do bill of supply come invoice. Okay. Ninth. Check here. In this invoice come bill of supply. Okay? That can be that is allowed. And 10th, a customer may avail numerous services from NBFC in a given tax period. It may issue conso for the supply of services made during a month at the end of the month. Yes. Okay. Done. Where were we? Where is the page? My goodness. Ready, everybody? We'll continue, na? Everybody. Bolo. हाँ वो तो लेना ही है. Receipt voucher. Ready, everybody? Chalo. Receipt means again that acknowledgement which you receive when you make the payment. है ना? So check. A registered person shall, on receipt of advance payment, okay, with respect to any supply of goods or services or both, issue a receipt voucher evidencing a receipt of the such payment. है ना? Again the format of receipt voucher. Details of supplier, again your voucher number, so again that sequence, date of its issue, then recipient's details, Description of goods and services. Have you provided yet? No, you are going to provide. है ना? No, not everything. Amount of advance taken. ठीक है? Where at the time of receipt of advance, the rate of tax and or nature of supply is not determinable. Okay? You're doing some kind of composite supply, or there can be cases when the customer wants lots of items, but the customer has not yet decided what all items he wants. So there can be a mix of supplies. So we don't know what will be the actual supply in future. But right now, since we have received the money, we will be giving the receipt voucher. Okay? So the rate of tax is not determinable. So we take bachcho at right now over there we take it as 18%. Okay? And if nature is again not determinable, whether it is going to be intra or inter, not yet decided by the customer where the supply will be done for. Okay? So we will be taking it as interstate supply. Finally, all of you. Then the refund voucher, same thing. When you receive money, then you have given receipt voucher. Refund, check. Where on receipt of advance payment, important, huh? In respect of goods, any goods or services or both, the registered person must issues a refund voucher, but subsequently no supply is made and no tax invoice is issued in because of this, the registered person may issue the person who has made the payment a refund voucher against such payment. Basically, the supply was not materialized. The supply is not effected. Okay, clear all of you? The supply is not effected. So we are not issuing invoice. We had got the money, so we issued bachcho what? Receipt voucher. But the work was not done, maybe cancelled by the customer, or we have not done whatever it is. So the transaction got cancelled. So we are not issuing the tax invoice. But against that receipt voucher, now bachcho I'll what? Again issue refund voucher to the recipient. Hi Anna. Everybody okay liya? Bolo. ठीक ना everybody? Check here. He's a recipient. So recipient has, I'll repeat, check. The recipient bachcho has given advance. So against that advance, the supplier gave a receipt voucher as a proof. Okay? Do you remember section 15 of income tax? When is bachcho income from salary taxable? Bolo? Anybody? Remember or no? Do you receive which is earlier? Correct. Now here in this example, I'm just using the same logic. Okay? Everybody? We have not yet gone into the time of supply, that in that chapter will be clear. But here, bachcho, if the government says that if you have received bachcho money but not yet made the supply, still deem or assume that it is a supply or pay the tax on the same. Are you understanding everybody what I'm trying to tell you here now? कुछ समझा क्या? You understood or no? No. Recipient gave money to the supplier. Yes? Or try to imagine na bachcho. Try to imagine. Okay, pay attention. He is an employer. Just imagine from income tax point of view. He is an employee. Employer gave advance salary to employee. Taxable or not taxable immediately? From income tax point of view. Because section 15 says bachcho what? Receipt or due, whichever is earlier. Hi Anna. Okay Nathan. Received. Advance salary was not a loan. Advance against salary was different. He has given 2 months salary. current months also, next months also. Okay. So next month, so he has not yet worked, na. So that we are going to call it as an advance salary. Yes, Celia? Is it taxable currently immediately? Yes. Correct, yeah. So you tax it on receipt basis or no? Because it was earlier. Clear? So let us say, so instead of employer, I'm writing the here now payer. And he's the payee. है ना बच्चों? So if I tell you, GST is also similar. Receipt or due, whichever is earlier. हाँ है ना? Same thing. So now if here the payer made a payment to pay in advance, then बच्चों the supplier, this guy, will be liable to pay tax immediately. Okay? हाँ है ना? Everybody. Okay? So as a proof, let us say proof, he has issued a receipt voucher. Okay? But because of some reason, maybe the recipient cancelled, he cancelled the transaction, or supplier has not made any supply for again some reason, cancellation. So because बच्चों now check, supplier has not done, supplier has बच्चों not done supply, है कि नहीं? So he is not going to issue tax invoice to the recipient. Clear till here? And he's going to obviously refund back that money, refund. Yes, till here? So refund voucher will be given by supplier to the recipient. Now the thing is, the only little bit of common sense here is that receipt voucher बच्चों will cancel out refund voucher बच्चों will cancel out the receipt voucher. हाँ या ना? Refund voucher will cancel out the receipt voucher. Means what? Means if at all I said, if originally the payee had paid tax on the advance received, I'll repeat, the supplier or payee had paid tax on the advance amount received. So when he issues a refund voucher, that original tax the original transaction will get cancelled. The original transaction will get cancelled. हाँ या ना? Now because the original transaction will get cancelled, whatever tax he had paid earlier, even that needs to come back to the supplier. Clear till here? Is it okay? Fine, everybody? बोलो. वो रिसीट वाउचर कैंसिल होगा. हाँ ठीक है ना. पे अटेंशन. Now pay attention. Again in this question, I am not issuing tax invoice, but I am issuing receipt voucher. My receipt voucher will increase my tax liability. Increase means what? I'll be liable to pay. Why? Because I received. So received or due which was earlier. हाँ या ना? Are you getting my point or no? This you understood earlier? Good. So refund voucher is exactly opposite of receipt voucher. Refund voucher is what? Exactly opposite of receipt voucher. So if when I issue refund voucher, my tax liability will decrease. Basically, refund voucher will cancel out. Now cancel out means what? This whatever tax I had paid already or I was liable, that will be now cancelled. I am no more liable to pay that tax amount. Or even if I have paid that amount, I'll get back the refund. कुछ समझा कि नहीं? Correct, exactly, yes. Whatever money you had received, you are refunding that. So why will you pay tax, na बच्चों? Understood? Okay. Details of refund voucher. Again, details of supplier, in number, date of issue, recipient details, number and date of receipt voucher. Can you see this or no? Refund voucher बच्चों issued against the receipt voucher. Yes. Discussion of goods and services in respect of which refund is made, amount of refund made, rate of taxes which is applicable, etc. Okay. Next one. Ready? Invoice and payment voucher. The recipient is liable to pay tax on reverse charge basis, where he receives supply of goods or services both, which are notified under RCM under section 9(3). Okay. A to B बच्चों सप्लाई मतलब सप्लाई अंडर RCM, हाँ या ना? सी बच्चों, A can be RD or A can be URD. Yes, still here all of you? Clear or no? But in both the cases, correct. B will pay the tax. Let me use the word tax to government. Done till here? Is B going to बच्चों recover from A? No. B is बच्चों going to pay from his own pocket, no? है ना? Now check. Such supplies can be received from a registered dealer or unregistered. ठीक है? Further, a builder promoter is required to pay GST on reverse charge under 9(4) in one or more of the following cases. Oh, this also you have to cover. ठीक है? No problem. As it is, you have to do that in 9(4) again. Check. Builder promoter is required to pay GST on reverse charge. When? A builder promoter in one or more of the following cases. A builder promoter must purchase 80% of his inputs and input services used in supplying the service from registered persons. Minimum 80% of his inputs should be from RD. Who are we talking about? Builder or promoter. In case of shortfall, let us say out of all his inputs, 70% बच्चों is from registered dealer and 30% from URD, unregistered. In this shortfall, he is required to pay tax under RCM on all such inward supplies to the extent of 80%, to the extent of short of 80%. So, बच्चों, if it was he has to total purchase 100, 70 from RD and 30 from URD. Okay. Then how much it is falling short? 10. नहीं 30% का 80%? नहीं रे बाबा, नहीं. Pay attention. These are total inwards of the builder. Inwards, you understand? Inputs or input services. Okay, what are the wording they use? Check here. You can write down there. These are goods. These are input services. है ना? Input means cement, steel, bricks, sand. Service means engineer services, labor services, carpenter, whatever, painter. है ना? So understand, the total expense or inputs of the builder is 100 rupees. Okay, we'll give you a simple example. Inward. That includes goods as well as services. No problem about it. है ना? Goods as well as services. What are they saying? That whatever is the expenditure of the builder or the inwards of the builder, minimum 80% of all the inwards should be from RD. Minimum 80% of all the bachcho inwards should be from RD. Why? Because RD to RD it becomes easy to identify people. Who was the supplier, tax is properly collected, not collected, and so it becomes very easy. That's why the department wants it more as RD to RD. RD is what? Registered dealer. Hariyana. All of you okay here, tell me. Who is my assessee, assess taxpayer, but builder? Is it okay, everybody? So government says that minimum 80% of all his inwards should be from RD to RD. So basically his inwards should be from RD. Minimum how much? 80%. If it is not, now check, there are two cases. Let me write down RD to RD. My builder is registered, na bachcho? Or unregistered dealer to my RD. RD is my builder only. Okay? Registered dealer. Common sense. RD is going to charge tax. URD is going to not charge tax. Hi Anna. Clear till here? RD is going to by default to charge some tax and URD will not charge tax. So here Department says or the law says minimum 80% of all his inward should be from RD. If it does not happen so, if your 80% criteria is not satisfied, then whatever is the shortfall till 80%, whatever is the shortfall till 80%, on that the builder will pay tax on RCM basis. Check. All inward bachcho builder is how much? 100. From RD he took 70 and URD he took 30. What is the target bachchu he has to achieve of RD? 80. Haan, this much you have understood? Haan. How much is falling short? 10. Haan. So the purchase of 10 or whatever is the inwards from URD, hai na? Of the 10 rupees, on the 10 as such, he will pay tax on reverse charge basis. Yes. Write down this example. Chalo. Builder total inwards. Inwards means inputs.
Recording stopped.
Done all of you?
Recording in progress.
Done? Where cement is received, my goodness. You will be like, you have to remember all of this. Not so much. Okay. So where cement is received from unregistered person. Oh. Promoter builder has to pay tax on supply of such cement on reverse charge basis compulsorily. Okay. And GST on capital goods is payable by promoter capital goods. Those cranes, machines, trucks, whatever he might have used. Okay. I mean, use means purchased. On again on reverse charge basis. Fine till everybody? So cement compulsorily RCM, capital goods also बच्चों RCM and others. Minimum 80% criteria should be fulfilled. Okay. Again because cement is obviously used in huge quantity ना बच्चों, है कि नहीं? So can we go ahead everybody? आगे बढ़े. Let's go ahead everybody. What are we discussing? Invoice and payment voucher. ठीक है. Now check. Whenever RCM is there, okay, now the supplier is not going to raise a tax invoice as such. Okay, so check. Invoice to be issued by the recipient. If he is liable to pay tax under RCM and receive बच्चों from unregistered person, check now. URD to RD. हाँ या ना? It is applicable on RCM. Tell me बच्चों what document URD issued to RD? Simple invoice. But this guy is he even coming under GST? No. He's simply issuing a normal invoice. Clear earlier everybody? So here we'll have to create, the RD will have to generate bachcho as such, okay? Generate a tax invoice. Who? RD. The recipient. Why? Because the tax was payable on RCM basis. Yes? Check. So invoice to be issued by recipient, by the recipient. Clear? If he is liable to pay tax under RCM and he has received the supplies from URD. A registered person who is liable to pay tax under RCM, okay, shall issue an invoice in respect of goods or services both received by him from the supplier who is not registered on the date of receipt of goods or services or both. ठीक है? Thus, a recipient liable to pay tax has to issue invoice only when obviously the goods have been received from an unregistered supplier. Okay, URD. Clear? Everybody? Payment voucher to be issued by recipient at the time of making payment if he is liable to pay tax under RCM. Besides, a registered person who is liable to pay tax under RCM shall issue a payment voucher at the time of making supply, at the time of making payment to the supplier, generate tax invoice and issue payment voucher. Write down this, बच्चों. What RD needs to do, the recipient needs to do.
Recording stopped.
Ready? All of you?
Recording in progress.
Oral details that payment voucher will have. Or the supplier, if registered. It is not, will not be there. Huh. Okay. Sale number, amount paid. Amount paid. It is payment voucher, na bachcho. Next one, star mark. Any other document other than actual invoice will be deemed to be an invoice. Any other document, bachcho, issued will be deemed to be an invoice. Apart from the actual original as per the format, whatever you have done. So important. Supplier permitted to issue any document other than tax invoice. Check. Any other document issued in relation to the supply shall be deemed to be a tax invoice, or tax invoice which may not be issued at all. Haan ya na? Important. The following suppliers may issue a tax invoice, but they are also permitted to issue any other document in lieu of, instead of tax invoice, by whatever name called. You want to call it boarding pass, that movie tickets, anything, you know. Check here. Movie tickets we have. Then supplier of passenger transportation service. Tell me, bachcho, what do you call it? Train ticket, bus ticket, and what? Boarding pass, or what? Flight tickets. Clear till here? Then GTA, supplying services in relation to transport of goods in goods carriage. Whatever invoice they, whatever document they issue, the goods transport agency will be deemed to be an invoice. Yes. An insurer, banking company, financial institution, and including NBFC. Insurer, banking company, financial institution. Okay. Check. Document in lieu of tax invoice. What all can be given instead of original tax invoice? Serial, optional information, and mandatory. We don't require serial number and address of the recipient, not required. Okay. Check. A customer may avail numerous services from the bank in a given period. Such entities may issue a conso tax invoice or a statement or advice any other document in lieu thereof, by whatever name called. It may be issued, available physically or electronically, for a supply of services made during the month at the end of the month. However, signature or DSC shall not be required in the case of issuance of consular tax invoice or any other document thereof. So even bachcho, digital signature is not required. Okay. So what is optional? Serial number. Serial number. It is not mandatory for so and so to issue serial number invoices, and this is optional. Address of the recipient. है ना? This is optional. Okay, so any other things बच्चों are compulsory, है ना? They are compulsory. Fine. So what may not be put? Serial numbers and address of the recipient. Other things you need to put. All right. GTA. What all he'll have to put? This is mandatory, no? Check. Gross weight of the order, consignment, transport. Name of consignor and consignee, seller and recipient. Ration number of the goods carriage in which goods are transported. Your bachcho vehicle number, okay? Vehicle ration number, your number plate. Details of goods transported, details of place of origin and destination. GST of the person liable to pay tax on this, whether as a consignor, consignee or the transporter. And other information has been prescribed. Then, what is again optional? Check here for transport of passengers. Serial number on that document and address of the recipient is optional. Tax invoice shall include ticket in any form by whatever name called. Boarding pass, this pass, that pass, whatever. Okay. Again, mandatory other information required. Railway signature बच्चों not required. ठीक है. Where do you see बच्चों sign wine etc. on the bus tickets, railway tickets and all of that, है ना? And the relation person बच्चों supplying services by way of admission or exhibition of cinematographic films on multiplex screens. Details of recipient बच्चों not required. And supplier is required to issue electronic ticket, and the said electronic ticket shall be deemed to be a tax invoice. So even electronic ticket bachcho is deemed as tax invoice. And other information also you can put. Okay. Done everybody? So I'll cover this, then I'll go to debit or credit notes in the next session. Chalega? I'll finish this part. Chalo. Delivery challan. Ready everybody? Generally a delivery challan is given as a proof, okay, by the recipient. He signs and gives back to the transporter. Well, obviously, na, bachcho, that yes, you have received the same. There's a tempo driver, you know, I mean, he goes to various places. That's why today also the OTP is asked. That is different thing. But when I talk about commercial transactions also, the supplier is in Delhi, the recipient is in Chennai, the transporter is transporting, and then Chennai person says no, not received. So the transporter has a proof. No, I've delivered this. I have got a copy also with me, signed by the recipient. Clear all of you? So delivery challan, check. Very important, na, bachcho. Rule 55 specifies cases where at the time of removal of goods may be removed on delivery challan and invoice may be issued after delivery. Okay, in the following cases only. Okay, check. Nature of supply. Supply of liquid gas, liquefied petroleum gas, remember, LPG. Supply of liquid gas where the quantity at the time of removal from the place of business of the supplier is बच्चों not known. You can't बच्चों clearly or properly measure. CNG, yes. See, the billing will be done बच्चों of the quantity received, हाँ या ना, or of the quantity issued. Try to understand. Supplier has sent 100 items. Supplier has sent 100 items. Recipient received 99 items. How, what, why, that we'll see later on. Recipient बच्चों is going to pay money only for 99. So even बच्चों invoice needs to be issued for 99. हाँ या ना? There can be बच्चों again obviously normal loss in the transport of liquefied whatever petroleum gas, okay, or liquid gas, okay. So at the time itself, the quantity is not known, how much is remaining or how much is there in the tank, etc. And you're going at multiple places to deposit, or you can say deliver. So whatever is output from the truck at the time, at the location of the recipient, that time much will be measured. How many units have been, you can say, given over there. Understood? So when the truck moved from the location of supplier, that time we are not very much sure how much quantity it is. Plus there can be normal loss. Clear earlier? So the exact quantity received at the recipient's place, on that basis बच्चों invoice will be generated. हाँ या ना? So when the goods are moving from the factory's premises or whatever depot, that time बच्चों we are not generating the tax invoice. We are just generating बच्चों bill of supply. Okay. Then transportation of goods for job work means what? Is it a supply? Is it a sale? Job work means what? Denting, painting, any kind of chemicals, testing, cartage. Drivers, nahi re baba. Let us say I am selling a food product. Food product. Yes, Celia? I cannot sell a food product bachcho, until I have the certification from FSSAI or whatever. Or बच्चों, let us say I am selling some items, helmets, etc. I want that ISI mark. है ना? Clearly? Or again I am selling some vehicle, and that vehicle some work is yet to be done. Some painting, denting, repairing, whatever. So in all these cases I am maybe supplying my goods not for sale. I may be sending my food item for testing purposes, whether it is safe or not. हाँ है ना? I may be sending my helmets, etc. for that government lab. They will check and see whether it is ISI mark can be given or not given. हाँ या ना? Or I'm sending my vehicle for repair or any other work. Somebody else will get the work done on it, है ना? And then give it back to me. That is called as job work. Understood, everybody? That is called as job work. है ना? So again, is it a supply or is it a sale? No. I'll get back the goods, bachcho, obviously. For some purpose only I'm sending the goods, not for sale. Okay? Another case. Transportation of goods for reason other than by way of supply. Any other reason, hai na? Everybody? It can be gift also. Again, bachcho, tell me. That case. Which case? Supply or return basis. है ना? Approval or return basis. Correct, everybody? है ना? And such other supplies as the board may notify. So importantly, your which one? Natural, your liquid gas, job work, any other movement of goods other than supply. Clear earlier? That time, but we are not issuing tax invoices. है ना? So what will we issue? Delivery challan. So delivery challan but needs to be issued. Again, serially numbered in one or more multiple series at the time of removal of goods. Details on delivery challan. Data number of delivery challan, address of the consignor if registered. Then address, details, everything of consignee if registered. HSN code of the goods. Quantity provisional. We can't be very much sure, hai na? Like in this such cases. But exact quantity being supplied is not known. Taxable value, tax rate, etc. Place of supply in case if it is interstate, it is going to some other state. Delivery purchase challan shall be created in triplicate. Check. Original for consignee, recipient, हाँ या ना? Duplicate for transporter, and triplicate बच्चों for original for themselves consignor, है ना? Then that is okay, e-waybill you'll declare that. Then tax invoice to be issued after delivery of goods. The supplier shall issue tax invoice afterwards. Okay, everybody? Nice. Check this. Goods transported in SKD, CKD. SKD which is semi knockdown. And CKD बच्चों completely knocked down. It is written here, but you can also write down again. Okay. Have you heard about KTM? KTM vehicle, KTM bike. KTM bike, KTM. Bajaj KTM. Then you have also heard of Tesla, obviously, or Harley Davidson, or Ducati, or Adidas, Reebok. All of these items you know, है ना? Adidas, Reebok is a different example, but let us say again iPhones, etc. I hope you might be aware iPhone is also getting manufactured in India, है ना? They are going to bring some items here. Okay, but Harley Davidson, etc. You know. Now, what happens is, I'll talk about this. There is also Ducati. Which one we have? Benelli. We have lots of items here in India. Benelli. Benelli is also one brand for bikes in India. So these bikes are not 100% bachcho manufactured in India. Okay? Especially engine part or suspension part, etc. They are brought in a box. Okay? Now just try to imagine I import something. Okay? Just imagine I import something in India. I import a bike. What comes to your mind, bachcho? That when I open the box, okay, it's delivered in a big box actually. When I open the box, I can just put the ignition and that bike is ready. Hi, Anna? No. It can be couple of things. So I'm getting bachcho ready to use bike. That is can be one thing. Or it can be bachcho semi knockdown. Means I've just detached some parts of tires, chassis, handle. That's it. Okay, everybody? That is semi knockdown. Just the tires, etc. are removed. And completely, you're getting all the parts of the vehicle, but separately. Means in a box only, but everything is completely undone or unscrewed. That is what you called as completely knocked down. But again, importantly is what, bachcho? Are they manufactured here in India? No. That is just an example, okay, everybody? So here, what can happen is you are dispatching goods maybe in lots. Okay, lots, you understand? Let us say, bachcho, have you seen that turbine? I think I discussed this example, I don't remember. Turbine, bachcho, turbines, fan. Those big fans. Look at them from distance of kilometers. Still they look big. Go nearby that turbine only, na, windmill, whatever it is. You will see how actually big it is. है कि नहीं बच्चों? Must be around 40 or 50 feet minimum. Wait, correct, that one. The one that generates that electricity. That one wingspan, maybe around minimum 30 to 50 feet, I don't know. Minimum, but, है ना? 30 feet you can take, 20 to 30 feet minimum. Correct? Chakri, okay. So that cannot be transported, bachcho, let us say on one single vehicle. It will come on three different vehicles maybe. On 3 different dates also. Whoever is supplying it. है ना? So there can be cases, bachcho, now important that the supply is not happening in one single vehicle. Impossible. Okay, everybody? The supply may not be happening on one single vehicle or by one single mode of transportation. Okay? So goods transported in SKD, CKD, condition or in batches or in lots. Check karo. When the supplier issue the complete invoice before dispatch of the first consignment, okay? Before dispatch of the first consignment, the supplier shall issue a delivery challan for each of the next consignments giving reference of the invoice. Important. Bachcho, the goods are getting delivered, let us say, bachcho, in 3 vehicles. Okay, first vehicle, second vehicle, third vehicle. On separate days also, we don't care. Invoice issued, bachcho, where? With the first one. Here what? Delivery challan. Are हाँ. This invoice has all the entire goods details, na? Okay or no? And third also, bachcho, what? Delivery challan. Giving reference of the original invoice. Yes, Chalia? Copies of corresponding delivery challan shall accompany each consignment, है ना? Duly with the duly certified copy of the invoice, photocopy. Okay. Shall issue the complete invoice. The original copy of the invoice shall be sent along with the last consignment. Okay, everybody? Check it. So here, issue complete invoice. No, just a minute. Before dispatch, sorry. He has generated issue invoice before. है ना? And every time, बच्चों, what will you do? Delivery challan. Yes. Plus what, बच्चों? Photocopy of invoice. And in the last delivery, बच्चों, what will you give? Last consignment, original copy of. This will also be sent. Yes, Talia? So original copy of the invoice, bachcho, shall be sent with the last consignment. You have created it. You have generated it. Issued means what, bachcho? Generated. You bachcho issue invoice in 3 in triplicate. Original for, tell me. Original for whom?
I didn't get that. Could you try it?
You issue bachcho tax invoice in triplicate. हाँ या ना? No. You issue tax invoice in triplicate. This much you have done. Original bachcho is for whom? Is for whom? Recipient, buyer, correct. है कि नहीं? Duplicate for transporter, correct. And your third one बच्चों for self. Clear till here? Correct. So you have generated or created. हाँ या ना? Generated or created. So in a way you can imagine that when the transporter is taking, let us say, the goods, transporter may have बच्चों 2 copies of invoice with him normally. The duplicate one for himself for the transporter, हाँ या ना? And the original one for the recipient. Are you getting my point, everybody? All of you? So here, whenever the goods are moving, just understand one common sense is that whenever the goods are moving without tax invoice with them, they are moving, bachcho, on the basis of delivery challan. And with the delivery challan, you should have the photocopy of the invoice. Clear? And the original bachcho invoice will go in the last consignment if it is sent in batches. Okay? So last page. Goods may be moved within the state from the state of registration to another state also. So interstate for supply or approval basis. Write down, chalo.
Recording stopped.
Done?
Recording in progress.
So goods may be moved within the state, from the state of registration to the other state for supply on approval basis. Okay. For supply on approval basis. Okay. So it can be intra or inter. Pay attention. Intra or inter on sale or approval basis. है ना बच्चों? So when we are sending the goods, are we sure it is a supply? No. है ना? So at that time, can we issue tax invoice? No. ठीक है ना? And artworks may be sent by artists to galleries. Again, movement बच्चों of artwork to the galleries. Even that is not a supply. Remember? We have discussed that also case बच्चों. Okay? For exhibition, they will be moved on delivery challan. Why? Because it is not a supply. Okay? So suppliers of jewelry etc. who are registered in one state and may have to visit to another state, है ना? And need to carry the goods along for approval. In such a case, if jewelry etc. is approved by the buyer, then bachcho supplier issues a tax invoice only at the time of supply. Since the suppliers cannot finalize that their actual supply is beforehand, है ना? The supplier is not able to register as a casual taxable person, okay? Because they cannot be certain. Check here. While ascertainment of tax liability in advance is a mandatory requirement for taxable as a CTP, such goods are also carried within the same state also at times for the supply. Goods which are taken for supply on approval basis can be moved from place of business to another place within the same state or to bachcho outside the state also. So compulsory, okay? Check here. On your approval or return basis, on a delivery challan, that e-way bill will always be there. For all the movements, bachcho, we require e-way bill. On a delivery challan, and the invoice bachcho may be issued at the time of delivery. Once obviously there is what? Acceptance from the buyer. It is clarified that the artwork for supply of approval basis can be moved from in the same state or even outside the state on again delivery challan. Same thing. And the invoice bachcho may be issued at the time of actual supply of the artwork. Alright. So just a clarification is given. All of you okay here? That you can do intrastate or interstate movement for your sale on approval basis. Yes, till here. That time you can send the goods only on the basis of what, bachcho? Delivery challan. Tax invoice, so you can give later on, even if it is interstate or intrastate. Okay. Good. One of the good points to discuss. Why not CTP, casual taxable person? Because he is not sure. Because for CTP you have to have an estimated tax liability, and he is not sure whether there will be a sale or not sale at all. He can't make an estimation also. Yes, everybody. And again, then compliance and this and that part. And because you are CTP, so again, registration number of that state, GST compliances of that state, again you have to do temporarily. Finally, all of you. So whenever it is without supply, the goods are moving, it has to be done on delivery challan. Clear till here? Done? So debit notes and credit notes, that much we'll cover in the next lecture. Chalega? Everybody? Next session. Yeah, we finish almost this. We are close, but ho jayega. है ना? What did I tell you? So that's it for today, for this session.
Recording stopped.
इंद्रजीत आज नहीं रहेगा शायद फिर नहीं. YouTube वालों bye bye. Like the video, share the video, subscribe.